Yeah. I realized one thing because I tried to record the videos, but I think my Zoom account, I have some mistake like config because we changed the domain and then I signed to Zoom. So I realized I didn't have I, I think there's a server problem in the beginning somehow. So I didn't have my records, like I didn't save to cloud. So I think I have to record it one more time. So okay. So I will try to upload it like for the last week and this week.
For web programming or?
Because I lost, I don't have, I couldn't find it. I'm not so sure. Are you using the domains like ETMUs? No, because yours come with the Leo.
Yeah, the Leo.
Okay, so
yours is technically different.
different, yeah, because we changed from TMUC to eTMUC, but some other account they will stay on the old domain. So right now they have like a slightly config, I think like configuration, like they changed their email account to a new one. So if you switch it, but for something, let's stay on the old domain. So they have some config. So I try to fix it.
This case,
Yes. Yeah, because I'm recording, but yeah, we have a call yesterday, so that's one. Yeah.
You gotta describe it in a way that I feel your pain. It's like you'll even shine into it multiple times, and then all the stuff you're looking for isn't even on that account. So.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So okay, yeah. So just back to yeah. So that's why you didn't see it, but I tried to like record it after maybe. Yeah, I'll do again for last week and this week. But mainly just like some conceptual things. Yeah, talk about like HTML and CSS. Okay. Background. You need to learn. Okay, you need to know HTML, CSS. Later, we will have at least a week, like a chapter talk about the CSS. Okay. And we will use the Bootstrap. So we are going to use that framework to build it, but it doesn't mean that you like you still have to learn what's CSS and how to change it, customize your own. Okay. And for today, kind of just introduce React one more time. Okay, and give you some lab exercise. Okay, because I already post the assignment, first assignment. So part one, I think just I'm asking you just make a screenshot, show me, okay, you install the Node.js and give me the npm version and MongoDB. Okay, so I know some coming back here. So I talk about the MongoDB Compass, right? Compass is a GUI, help you to manage it. But one thing, you need to reinstall the MongoDB server. Okay, so here's a tricky thing. If you couldn't connect to it, I think you already installed it last time, right? Yeah, so remember to install it. Here's a slightly trick, like I didn't mention, but in the class I tell you last time. So and then the another part is you need to customize your React. Okay, so let's go back to here. If you remember, how can we create a React project? Okay, so that's why you need to install the npm. After you install the npm, we can just create, and we are using the Vite. Okay, Vite, we're using the latest, and then my app is the name, so you can change it. Okay, so you can change to any name your project. Okay, and we're using the template is called React, and that's what we're focused. So we in coming all the lectures we're talking about is like React as Vite. Okay, before React, I think Meta they do have their own package to develop it, and then it kind of like fade out kind of like few months ago. Yeah, so when I was teaching the last semester and it just fade out in the mid of semester, so I try to introduce it. Yeah, so it's more important because like, okay, maybe in this moment I'm telling you using the Vite, I'm no guarantee like yeah, something changed. Okay, well something comes out as well. I mentioned before, like if you look at the picture, we have the React. Okay, actually, I think in the industry, if you're looking for web developer, okay, maybe they're looking for job. One is React.js, another one is Angular.js, and actually there one more is called Vue.js. Don't know what's that Vue.js?
What's that?
Vue.js. VUE. Yes, yeah, Vue.js. Okay, so this one actually it comes out like I cannot say it comes out, but it's getting more popular in these few years. It's more lightweight. Yeah, I think the team developed this firmware is, I think, it's from China. I think, yeah, that's what I found. Okay, so back to this one. How can we create a project? And I already attach a template, so I give you, you can modify it. I recommend I touch on it. Also today for today's lab, I also like let you to work on some, mainly it's lab exercise, like go through some fundamental things, introduce like kind of back to the lectures, and introduce why we need to use VN and what's the reason. Okay, that's it. And most of the time will be lab exercise. I can help you and guiding you like, okay, so at least you can finish your assignment or you can change wherever you like. Okay, so we'll work on like Hello World, 101, I would say Hello World, create Hello World page. And so far that there will be the structure for today. Okay, just recap the command line right here. And slightly go through. So introduce the React.js. So it's a JavaScript library. So it's a building for the user interface. Okay. Right now we'll call the front end, back end. Back end will be the server, API server, database we store over there, and front end will be what we see. Okay, and then we have even more like designer work on the UI UX. We talk about UI UX. So UX is user experience, right? So it's more than that. Okay, sometimes we work together, and when you building it, actually, I even right now I break it down into two parts. Like front end, we have quite a front end, fun back end. Okay, really for front end, developing the front end will be the UI design. Okay, so UI UX, okay, only design. Back end, you will work on the all those components. Okay, how to building the front end. Okay, I think challenging. Have you ever tried to use Figma or no Figma? I think designer they will use Figma more because they will create a storyboard. Okay, you did. Okay, so the designers will use Figma to design storyboard. The storyboard is part of it actually. You need to design. Okay, let's say we have the launch page. Okay, and then after the launch page, what's the main page, right? So what's the button when you click on this button? So you will jump to another page. Okay, so that's a Figma doing. And I know after they introduce the AI, so you can generate it. Okay.
So your story.
Yeah, so far they can like, that means even the UI developer, okay, can generate some really simple app. Okay, of course, I think more complicated one, you still need to modify it, maybe still not yet perfect, but so far you can already generate really simple app. Okay, so with so many competitors, getting more competitor, so we need to think about that. And we know we had I always talk about like Facebook, and then they changed the name to Meta. So we see like why it's getting popular, or like why it's so popular, because industry, Facebook introduced this one, so they use it to build their website. Okay, and then other company knowing, okay, they will use it. Actually, here's a sense, like as a developer or software engineer, if you want to work on, not on this one, but for web programming too. Okay, so we always try to search, like sometimes you have to search, okay, if I need to build a website, okay, what kind of language we're going to use, or maybe what kind of package, framework, okay, library we're going to use. Really changing. So I cannot guarantee, okay, today or this week, I tell, okay, let's use this one. Maybe next week, another one's getting popular. So always like try to search and then looking for a document. So right here, I can show you the document. Of course, I'll show like the React example, and then how can we copy and paste. And then that's like today we're going to do, like copy something. But it's like have a habit, or also give yourself some experience, like how can we look at the document and then build a web. Okay, sometimes maybe you are the one like create a YouTube channel teaching somebody how to create a website, okay, or doing something else. Yeah, so you can be, okay. And we talk about like what's the feature. One side is React is the component base. So if you create a React app, so you already see the structure, right? So when we saw it, so we start with a function, and then we're giving the function name, we need to export the function. So we only see the part of it. It's like HTML like source code. So after we try to run the dev or in production, we'll generate the HTML source code. Okay, so Here's a slightly special for the component-based architecture, and we call about the virtual DOM. Later we will touch the virtual DOM, but it's kind of like later in the lecture. So how can we interact with the UI, those components? Okay, so for the performance like optimization, so we can make it better. And here, sometimes we call it the React, we call the SPA, single page application. Okay, single page, because every time like one page, we try to generate a new one. Okay, refreshing. So compared to the traditional way, like creating the website, like we have the HTML, source code, and then CSS, and then JavaScript, and then you can download other like JavaScript, getting animations, different type of effect. So the server, they need to load an entire page. That means like all the component, everything, they have to load a complete file. But for the SPA, that means it's a single page application. So we just need to update the required component. Let's say we have the menu, maybe we have the banner, okay, slider, and then we have some maybe border list, okay, and then we have the footer, okay, like this. If you only, let's say, maybe the border list, we have multiple page, let's say 10 pages. If you click the next one, like the arrow left and right, we switch it. So we don't have to reload the menu. We don't have to reload the banner, whatever. We don't have to reload the footer. So we just need to send a request from the API to get the new border list, refresh that border list, that components. That will be enough. So here's the reason why we saying we don't have to reload the whole entire page. Like for the traditional way, okay, let's say I have a homepage. If I want to navigate to a, let's say about us, okay. So when you click on the button, so we send a request to the server. The server need to return all, we call it response, return the whole page of the about us page, okay, including the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all the files, okay. So here's the different part. So that's why we introduce SPA, faster, smoother user experience. Okay, so it's an idea. Then always when we introduce like we have using read or later something else, they do have some reason, okay, or better, okay, for certain way, okay. And just a lighting faster, okay, co-stars, and then they have one is called the hot modules replacement. Okay, you have know some terms. Later when we working on it, then you'll see okay what those terms meaning, and then we can like optimize the building for production and create a simple and faster than create React. This one is the command we used before. Okay, so before we're using which we need to use the create React. Okay, actually it takes longer time. You cannot compare, but I think you can still use the old command. I think it's called npx create React. Okay, so I remember it takes slightly longer time, like compared to using the Vite. Yeah, first you create and then you execute npm install. So it will try to fetch all the library. Then you will see that called the node modules. Okay. And just a slightly recap. So install your Node.js and then execute it. And we are going to use this command line. So using a template. Okay, so just like back to just recall somebody came last week, then I think you can create, or if you have not yet tried, you can start to create a project. Okay, so I think most of you are using VS Code, right? Or some, okay, VS Code. Okay, so you can create a directory and then you can execute npm create with latest, and then just give a name right here. Here's the name. So you can give any name, okay, for your project, and then give a template of React.js, execute. Okay. And oh, I think I have some typo right here. I just getting the React. Slightly more than that. Okay, so it's not included, but it's like also it's related to Node.js or JavaScript. Okay, so have you ever heard about TypeScript? Okay, so that means like pretty popular. Okay, so you know, so anybody can tell what's the difference between TypeScript, JavaScript, or Node.js? No, okay. So why they put it called type? Or actually it comes out after the JavaScript, right? Of course. Then
syntax pretty different.
Yeah, you have to use types, like it's like in C++ where you're.
Yes, yeah, it's a mainly difference the type. Yes, yeah. Yeah, because later when you work on the React, you will see, okay, so if you learn JS, we're using the var, okay, var, okay, to declare all the I call it object because actually for Node.js is object, or if you learn Python, okay, we call it object, right? Destructor, okay, pretty similar idea concept. And then they realized that, okay, if every time I'm using let, var, constant, so maybe you will see we are using these three, okay, keywords, okay. Then the developer start to ask, okay, if I really want to, these are things that because we are doing dynamic, because we wait until we assign the value to determine, okay, which variable, like maybe it's an integer, it's a string, okay, maybe something else, okay. It's an object. Most of the time we work on the object, okay. And then if we really want to declare, okay, I want to check what's the type, make sure it's matching. Because sometimes it's like, okay, I want to use it as an integer, but it returns as a string. Okay, number is number, okay. And when you look at it, yes, it's a number, but this one is the integer, and another one is a string. Okay, so I think when you work on other language too, like for C++, you will know because they will or Java, okay. So because you need to declare the your data type, right? So okay, and then we realized one thing. Okay, for JS we never know. So when you work on the codings, okay, you're okay to handle it, okay, because you won't receive any error, pop-up error, telling you, okay, you have some like type error. So that's why type JS comes out. Okay, you need to declare it. Okay, so just let you know because if you're looking for the jobs, okay, they do asking for the TypeScript, okay. But sometimes people go for TypeScript and then they come back to Node.js. There's some reason because like it's so redundancy, okay. So and this is an environment of programming. Some people invent something, introduce something. I think it's like we try to fix certain problem, or I think it's better, and then we'll introduce something else to solve it, or I think, oh, let's go back. I think it's better. Okay, so it's okay. Just like let you introduce more. It's anything about industry. Okay. That's slightly a history about it. Before Node.js, actually Node.js in the beginning, when we introduced Node.js, lots of developers using it, and then they realized that why the update is so slow, the support of our community is insufficient. Okay, so they introduced another one. So there are another group of developers. They introduce develop called IOJS. Actually, exactly same. You can use the they just change the name, but they have more support, different library. Okay, so community like they share more resources. Okay, and so most of developers switch to IOJS. Okay, and after certain of time, Node.js catch up and they do way better, and then all the developer switch back to Node.js. So why not we are using Node.js? So you see, always that means like we always need to check documents, follow a train, and then maybe you can see, okay, what nowadays who are used which kind of language they're using, okay, or based on the project you need. Okay, of course sometimes your customer asks you, okay, we want to use TypeScript, or sometimes we need to use maybe Angular instead of React.js, but it's kind of similar. Once you know what's the component based architecture, then you can build all this website from scratch easily. Okay. And I think once I start to work for today, pretty easy. If you see the page, so you will see the icons with the like the come button, click on it. So can we start with like how can we print out the hello world? Okay, so that means we need to change it. So you will see the dev, and I would like to open the. Let me open the W3 School. Always recommend you can go to W3 School HTML. Okay. Once you're looking for references, okay, if you search W3 School, try not to search for Node.js, okay, because you couldn't find what you want. Because Node.js, we can use it for building server, like for backend. Most of the example have like for backend. So if you want to still work on the front end, please refer to HTML, this part, okay. So if we want to work on the elements, later I have more like detailed slides talk about all the tab. But for HTML, so you see the structure, we still need to using those tags. Okay, but sometimes of those tags will be more general. We start with the def, so div. So we can declare with every attribute. Let's say later we talk about what's the attribute class. Okay, but in this moment, just like let you to have fun, enjoy doing some exercise. Okay, and you can add the header. Okay, right here, and so far the structure HTML you want to see if you create. So you only kind of like work on the body, that part. Okay, so will be body, and then you just imagine it, those components inside. We are like adding is inside the body. Okay, so will be break down into different parts. Okay, and I will let you to change, like to remove everything. Start with, let's say I use the header H1, and then giving a hello world. Okay, and then you can try start from hello world H1 to H6. Okay, different forms, and as a first exercise. Okay. Okay, already created. Yeah. Okay, good. And okay, you already changed it. Okay, good. I can see. Okay, and if somebody have not yet, then you can try to touch it, or some of you have not yet. Yeah. If you're confused, it's a good time. Are you trying to? I can help you. Yeah, you already have. For sure, you already have it. Do you see? Yes. Okay. CD. Oh yeah. Dash and C. Okay. NPM. Yeah. NPM frontal. Okay, yeah, and then you just open this, if you can see it, it should be already installed. We'll run this again here shortly. After we. Okay, and then you can go to, if it's. Yeah. This place is up NVM. Okay. Okay, you, actually, we are not really used to Docker. Right. So I haven't installed that. We have to recheck like. Beginning. Oh, you have to install. No, yeah. It's just master, right? Searching it. Okay, so you have installed the updated one. If you submit the first assignment, so just. Yeah, I had it the first time. And also your, also the NPM, so we have to get permission. Yeah, so. Just install. No, I think I thought that's NPM, that's yes. Just please, okay. It's the top of 10. So what's the number of that? What's next? So you have NPM. So you can give me a screenshot, so we'll be. So you can tell me whether you installed. Okay. And the second part is using the NPM, so you can execute the. Well, just let me know if you run into any errors or whatever. The visual version latest and the template. NPM. Another one. If you check. In theory. Go back to this one. Users. Okay. So if you can you see the command right here? So we will start with npm create bit and latest, and then giving a project name. Okay. Hang on, Mac is. So if you can create the first color, and I will let you to try, because like on WSP school we have different tab, right? Let's say I want to add you let you to add all the header H1, H2, H3. Okay, so you see so many color and then see the change on the size. Okay, so here will be the step. I can try. Okay, yeah. And just yeah.
Yeah, so that's not such.
Because
And then.
What did you change?
For.
I don't know.
I think the text between them is
Well, I changed as well.
So you can.
Okay, it's like down, but-
If it's a default, then it's okay, yeah, so. that's
One
what-
tool for BS.
Wait, if the phone is a-
Yeah, it's a tool for each. What I
Just
understand.
that tells you. So if you want to keep.
I don't play around,
you can verify.
change the tab to,
Open up a-
space reads and then change the count to
Maybe
negative,
you
and
can-
then I added. Click on more to. About these. Okay.
No, we see the site.
Okay,
I believe you.
okay, so let's see, space right there, yeah, and these.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't remember.
Versus. Actually, just try typing empty in general, like a VIE. And then
And
just install.
and choose JS, the JavaScript.
Very good, I like it.
So when now you can change your application CD. Okay, and then you next steps. So NPM installation of.
Okay.
Add
straight up.
Yes,
And then once that's done, I can just do everything through. Yes.
it takes some time,
Yeah,
if you.
you just create a directory for whatever you're gonna work in. Yeah. And you just type.
If you go to a folder, you just create. Okay. So what's
You
doing
know,
right now is
CD
loading.
space, whatever your
Um,
directory name is.
the-
NPM install, then
Okay,
you can
right
run
here, and then you run the web. So, yeah, okay. If you open it early,
Yeah.
so you won't see that much, right? Okay, yeah, so, yeah, so it's, yes, so including the wireless for support on the.
Yes.
So if you're curious about what kind
Oh,
of,
there's a-
modules they install, you can
Yeah,
open
I know.
package application, is a function. So this one is the necessary, so you see the dependence and the dependence.
This is.
Okay,
already-
this
this is nice.
I would go with this one.
No, good.
How far are they open at that rate?
I did a really.
Then we have
for like 4 months. And this is. So.
So fine.
This is how I've done, I'm pretty sure I've done like 90% of this class. It's gonna be like different things with like databases. I haven't done more with the for example. I've taken a database class.
I remember that.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm sure.
Are you busy?
No,
This one, you have, because it can, if you download the, DMG demonstrator install.
well, I guess they have. Or,
One year left is. Two semesters or like.
yeah, just use up for this.
Second, your second half.
Second.
Are you gonna do server classes so you're done?
So I still have like, I have two, what's it called? No, I have two corporate classes left, like, both of the business labs.
Oh, both of the labs, that's tough.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do both of them next time.
So one is.
So hard.
The one will be.
Because it, for lab in particular, it matters so much. We had a guy who should.
You don't have to do
the alcohol.
Yeah.
Like,
And
there's two.
actually, we are,
Then it's one lab.
this one you are
Someone
installing.
very passionate about it,
And then,
and, you know.
and that one's called the
Equal
compass.
amounts of
Compass is the.
constant material effort as.
That you manage the OPP. That means that, okay, it's really good at compass, taking rely on, QR, and you don't have to store it. But it's very for better management.
Y'all pretty much need to insert this.
Yes, yeah, if you install it, so if you. MongoDB, then it's.
Has to be first, or if you don't do them, have to get permission.
I'll do it in person, because those were the kind of.
Yeah.
Well, that's this is for no, right? That's the.
So they have to, and I just started.
Early supposed to.
So,
Yeah, try
then
this.
you not.
Yes, I got
So you can try using the topic that.
So I didn't really know that there's open. There's no one hired.
Okay, it's at 9.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
kind of time. So, yeah, I got it all funny.
So, who is the,
So I'm.
It'll be
gonna re-announce it probably.
you can try this one.
Well, I mean, you got both.
And also I'm very more fun, so I
Yeah.
enjoy you.
Okay, so you can think different tag.
Yeah, if you're right.
And you're, so are you adding different tag? How to work with something?
Yeah.
Right now I'm just editing existence.
Okay. And after I work on this part, I'll talk
It's
about
all
the
you
use
have to
state.
do.
If you know, you can try to change the count.
Hopefully.
The sample code I upload for the assignment,
Oh,
so
yeah,
I will
so
add two
different.
more buttons. You can like
Literally
because this one
extra
is
things.
increase it by increment. Okay, so how about the decrement? Okay, let me minus. Well, can you change it to make sure like not going to negative? Okay, don't let it go negative. Yeah. Are you already working on it?
Oh, you mean like, up and down with your right,
IBM and the.
with your regular variable?
I'm done. I adding two buttons. Yeah.
Oh,
Two
okay,
buttons,
okay.
yeah. So why not every time I
What is
do
that?
click on it,
These?
so it counts as one.
So
Okay.
these-
So can you add one
yeah.
more button to
And
minus one?
Is all like.
Okay, so if you keep on minus
Yeah.
one, it will go to
Okay, I
negative.
don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah, or let's say, I don't want to let it be negative, always stay on zero.
So to make a parameter to make.
Yes, well, at this moment, just have fun, enjoy it, so I just let you feel, okay, how can I work on it? But later, in the slides, I tell you how can, actually, that one is use state, and then we can add extra function to check in where the using
Where
the
the
use
use state is, yeah.
JS, as a first, cut like first lab, then just play around with the first one, yeah. Well, then I have another to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you did the whole.
Or will you also. this is
And
sometimes-
when you work on it, and then you have observation by yourself,
Like a zip file.
because compared with the regular HTML, you need to refresh your browser and then check the update content. But if you have some mistake, syntax error, you will see your page will pop out like some error message. So here's like it's a real time refresh of content. Okay.
That's for. What is it?
What's the focus right now?
I'm still sitting up everything, so.
Okay. This NVM is actually it's alternative. You can store it. If you want to just use the NVM for
It's-
Node.js, so you can go to.
It's going to be published later down the road. The problem is you might local host installing this
And
is.
you can switch because you can see right here. And
And
another is just for different type of OS, for Mac OS and Windows, they're using different way. So you are not really required to using NVM.
Because of how fast
Windows
the stuff moves.
You have different
it's
type of,
very hard
but if you work on
use
Linux,
the
okay, later because I asked him,
So
I will
that's
ask you
just
to set the server, okay, hosting
and it
website server. Okay,
There's
so
arguably a reason.
then you can use the
But
NVM.
having a local install is
Let's
actually
say
plan
if I switch
that makes any sense. And if you have issues,
the Linux,
it's gonna be harder to
And you can
fix,
use
but
it.
because we're trying so many things, the goal is we just
it
try.
will come
to
with
have
different
issues, just
options. I know,
So if you're
for
trying to make
some
something.
students, like Windows laptop, they can support Docker, but sometimes they must have certain
So,
So they make
it
using
that's what the
the-
Pokemon thing was like.
Yeah.
So that final project,
Uh,
dockerizing it.
you can try, yeah,
But for this right now.
you may start with this one, yeah, it's okay, and then this is the version you see right now,
More
the
important.
LTS, so if you see LTS for a long term support, that means the community and then the package, like right now,
Yes, everyone.
most of the package, if you're using, like probably let's say,
It'll be more difficult.
they put sure to support this version.
With that.
But if
you'll
you
just be able
use
to
the
test more
latest one,
things
let's say when there's
instead of adding
4.7,
So you can.
maybe some certain
if you're-
package
if
or
you
more
get
traditional
traditional
modules may not support.
you use that.
That means you will receive some error. So just be
I
careful.
would just.
For development, sometimes, okay, I don't mind, I just want to test,
Whenever you.
then you can use the latest one, I will recommend, so depends on you. Also, the reason why we're using the NVM, you see, we're using
It
NVM,
might be more helpful to make sure.
we can
progress in it.
install different version
So,
on your laptop, and then you can switch it.
all at once.
Like, let's say I want to use the long-term support for production, okay, really for project, but for testing, some personal use, I want to use the latest one to test it, right, new features, that I can install both and switch. So here's the advantage, just let you know, but because for Windows and Mac is more closer because based on the Linux, so you can
The only thing is,
easier to switch.
we downloaded.
If not, then you can stay on the.
Whenever,
So
when you
the,
use that.
what's, we're doing.
You can use this one and copy.
But
it
you
from
want a
online.
local image as well, so if you don't have Docker. down on your computer,
Yeah, you can, yeah,
definitely do that.
PowerShell.
But when I, so I think.
Well, I guess I can't do all of that, right?
Sometimes you can take it, but if you know, you can take one by one, start one with the PowerShell. Okay, can you, oh, good, okay, okay, so.
You have it installed.
Okay.
on
Because I know you.
And then
we'll show you what you have. I think you will even, finish my coming second assignment.
Pretty much.
Manager.
I got a little carried away earlier, so
Okay.
I wanted to
Assume it is.
Okay.
explore the
Explore.
Change there, 'cause it's cheaper.
Yeah, because if
You gotta follow.
you say you did purpose action before, so I think the way fast.
If you have any.
Yeah, no,
questions
like
on
different
taxes,
progress, I know.
you're gonna tell
Some of them need more time, even this setting up.
This is the,
Um,
because we're not, we are.
Yeah, try, yeah.
He might know.
If you're MongoDB and
So that's where you're gonna start losing.
you can look at the document, you think you're okay, so I'm using Happy JS for computing that localhost API server.
Any command that I give you, there's a.
Of course, I even know English, so you can express JS if you know Express. Okay, so
If
so,
you want to run it on Docker, you will.
I don't know what's API server. Actually, I covered jump pretty fast, like both metric.
You either
That's
learn
what I,
Docker
that's what I came here.
or
Okay,
The
okay.
database side, I don't,
Because
I
everyone-
don't know anything about
Okay,
database.
okay.
But everyone
I know
else is
front
on
end.
Windows. So I'm personally.
Yeah, I will cover this
Also,
part,
this one Mac, so
to
a good help.
explain
But
that.
I usually.
Because I try to
Like,
cover the front
That's just the.
API server and then the database MongoDB. Thank you. Before like mid of the semester. So I want to let you let's say if you're really good at it, then you can start the project early. Yeah, and then I will go back to all the detail again, like everything. So when now, and then we can talk about tag and everything. Okay. I'm open like because in the example of using Happy.js. Okay, so that one is building the API server. So API server is that you send a request. When you see a website, we send a request to a server, right? So how can the server handle it? Okay, how do I know? So we have some like we call the route. Okay, let's say I just have a greeting, maybe a login. Okay, so you need to send the email and password. So the API server receive it. Maybe you will validate the content, but make sure it's correct format, and then maybe you will check the password sometimes. Okay, and after you validate, and then you try to match with your database. Here will be MongoDB. We're using MongoDB. We try to search. Okay, do we have document match the email and password? If we do, then we just like grab it, and then the API server we return it back to you. Okay, and of course depends how you implement it, and then maybe you are follow in. Maybe your API server will redirect page, maybe icon page to you, or it's a route. Okay, back to your Node.js. Then you can refresh, so you can redirect the user to the account page. So it will be like this, or you are trying to get some certain information. Let's say a portal list, then you return a portal list. Okay, let's say you click on the category, and then you try to get all the category items, right? And then the API server will return it, so you can show all the lists. Okay, so but for this one, here's the things like for HTML, however, you have to implement all the elements one by one.
Yeah.
But for the we call it component based. Yeah, we can use the function. That means create function using a for loop. Okay, because no JS. Okay, using a for loop to generate all the items using or while loop whatever.
For my components, I use it all in the same thing, because I didn't know if it would be better to export it in like separate files or.
I would recommend export like for a good structure, like all the components. We won't put it on single page. Okay, but not single page, on single file. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of figured, but I just didn't know how to export it yet, so I just kept it in.
Yeah, so we can. Export before end. So here's the so when you use right here, so we export the whole. Then you will see if you want to export them separately, where the folder, where function like this return and export them. The match should be matching.
I know these are important, right?
This one is just appear as an empty. So even you put it as a def, it's okay. So it's like give you like let's say you put it as a if you know the tab because you worked on it before, so you know like that it means like nothing, right? So it's there. So you can even put it like this, it won't affect your website. If you go back. So if you want to export them, put them. So you can using the export before and then put it in the file.
In a separate file.
Yeah, separate file. And then what you need to do, just import. So just like the import CSS, you just import that file.
I see. And what about for the CSS for like, for example, the footer? Would you make a separate CSS? Or
Yes, everything separate. Why I'm not talking about the structure, but good behavior. if you are CSS, you can create a separate folder for CSS. And then, or sometimes if you have different page, also you have different folder. Yeah. So keep it well open. Yeah.
And you can reuse the components. right?
Yes, yeah. So because once you export, let's say you have the menu, right? Or if you need to use it in that page, you just import that component.
Okay, that's
And
pretty
you
cool.
don't have to import. Yeah, because you are not going to like copy the source code and then do it.
Yeah, 'cause that's what I've been doing
Yeah,
regularly.
so that's more redundant and it's not the purpose using it. So it's we call it component based where we can see some student attending online. Let's see if you have question or not. Okay, no message.
Yeah, but just in LinkedIn online,
This one?
there's one person.
Yeah, two. Yeah, only just. Yeah. I'm recording.
That was good. I'm trying to tell people to make sure they change their name in Discord if they ask questions.
Okay. Image. Okay, so
Because. Those are really. That's a lot. Is there a more streamlined way to do it, like you just copy it and do it or something?
okay, so this one is the React SVG. So you know it's with vector with like graphic animations. Yes. If you want to import it, let's say if we go back to the page, let's say your app, .js right here. So you can just image, right? So you can just change the source. If you look at the tab, so let's switch back to
Oh, yeah, I made a class, Mason.
With
the W3. Where's the W3?
I was just gonna use this, so I saw you were all online, like phone for some reason.
It's a image, okay.
On,
Source, right? So we can give you have
online
the
phone?
image.
No, I wasn't on at the time, yeah.
And the folder.
I'm here now.
So you can import it and later I will show you how to do it if you want to like.
Yes.
So that's the problem, then like you what it is.
No, or like,
Let's look at
you were on the.
Yes, and if you want to do it, get it from
I
internet.
don't know.
Let's
Yeah,
say
I'm
use
using
Google
Google
and then copy
They're
it
too
to
slow.
the link.
Maybe,
Like some of the.
I don't know,
Okay,
or
and
it was
copy the
the,
link.
it didn't
Just make
update your
sure
status
get the correct.
that you,
copy
were on your
link.
computer. Because it was saying you were,
And
Oh.
then we-
I was just making sure that,
Back into
Yes, yes.
Because,
And modify
I saw you were on your
image
phone.
right here.
it was like,
Good.
I wonder, and,
Change the
Justine,
But
was
be careful
online, but
syntax.
this still adds up, you only have like 11.
But this one I have the correct. If you look at the okay, so I think most of you already work on it. So if you see when we try to import a certain variable, like let's say the image, right? So there's a curly bracket. So it's an import it's telling it's a variable. So we'll substitute it. I didn't open it, so let me open my previous one. Let me switch it. App.js right here. Okay, so you will see the React logo right here. So we import it from the assets and then React.svg, right? So if we need to use the image, and you will see there's a, this one I already trying. Let me see, I already remove it. It's right here. So it's a curve bracket. I think it's pretty small. So if you see, so if you need to replace it, you can use the regular character, means like double quote for it. So when you're copying from W3 school, okay. So it depends on which way are you doing, because sometimes we need to keep the image file local. Okay. Good or bad, so it depends on how you're going to implement your project. Sometimes you say, okay, let me upload all the files, like save it on the server. Especially if you work on certain project, okay, you will let the user upload files, right? So you will set up the API server to sending the image link. Okay, that maybe you access from the internet. Okay, but not from the local file. Okay, then you need to add a complete URL. Okay, so using the code. Or later maybe you will pass the parameter. Later you know when we getting the JSON file return as a list, then we will pass it as the object. So it will be a curve bracket. But when a double quote is okay.
For Google Maps, is that API usage or is that, they're routing to Google Online and then, containing that? Or like, you
Google
know,
Map knows.
they're,
Oh, yeah, you should.
no,
Okay.
I think you were, but I didn't have it really anything else.
Oh, you have no idea. Okay, I just let you complete. Okay. You can guess. Yeah, you can guess. Yes.
I think they're using the API on it, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, but I just have to know.
If one is slightly harder, before you can use the Google Map API, pretty easy, just like create a Google developer account, and then you can request the API token. And right now I think they do have some certain limitation, like you need to subscribe and pay for it, and then getting more. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, so if you're a developer, I think maybe they realize a lot of people using the API, so they want to use it to like get certain profit. So yeah, it happened to me because I have some before, yeah, having some customer to build the Google API, adding the map, right? Because they want to add if you see certain website, they will say, okay, here's my company location, and then you can drag it. So actually, that one is from Google API.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah. And at certain time it expired because they changed from free to like subscription. So you have to pay, or if you have multiple account, then you have to like pay so much. Later if you would touch it, yeah. If you're going to use it for your website, you can try to play with it.
There's also Leaflet.js, which is like a free alternative to Google Maps.
Yeah, so you see. So those are changing. So so in this moment, so how about you have to look at the first. Okay, so you already created and then. Oh, okay, so you already changed it. Okay, this one. I think somebody touched with the.
Not officially.
Oh, yeah, so
I kind of messed around with it.
okay, yeah. Okay, give two values, and you can maybe like. Right now it's not yet, but later. But if you want to try, let's say right now it's negative, and so this one is the decreasing. Okay, or you can let it stop. Then let's say if I take it until 20, then it stop. And how can you do that? Just a question. Okay. Okay, so I think almost of you like can play with it. Then I will just like move forward. So we will talk about more about the components. So you will see sometimes we will like pretty simple, and then we're using the hooks. Okay, and you will know more about hooks like use stage and then like other condition. Okay, and for the class component, sometimes we'll create the class component is kind of like older and less common. And right now we try to, one thing we emphasize, the components, they will be like reusable building block. Okay, so we try to create folders, export. So the keyword right here, if you need to create reuse, so let's say we have the here sometimes we use the function. Okay, later, I will talk about there's a lecture talk about the Node.js, because for the Node.js itself have some certain syntax. Okay, and then when we use it for the building the website, we will stay on the JS a little bit. Yeah. When we keep changing, you'll see. So this one is called the arrow function. So we will see we try to declare. So sometimes you will see we will declare as a function. Okay, and this one is an arrow function. Constant function name equal, and then this one the bracket is like passing the parameter and then giving an error arrow. Okay, so this arrow is also means the function. Okay, so you can do it in this way, or the traditional way is function name and then the bracket. Okay, and then remember to export it. So we will create a separate folder, export this function, and then later in another folder, just remember to import it. Then you can use it. It's pretty similar to import the CSS file. So just like this. And you will see we talk about the hooks, right? And then the use state is the one thing we are going to use. We have different way. Okay, so right here, I will keep it later. Okay, because the later lecture I will talk about this in more detail. Just you see, we have the count is a variable. Set count is a function. Okay, so it comes with the pair, and then here's the use state, and then we give a default value is 0. Okay, and we're giving two function. This two will be also is the L function, pretty straightforward, and then +1. So set count +1 -1. Okay, so if you want to put in the condition, checking the condition, you need to modify it. Okay, so right here, because for the arrow function, this one just one straight line. If you want to add multiple, then you can like put it curly bracket and then if condition. Okay, just similar to other language or JS. Okay, we have if else. Okay, so we can add it. So you can modify it. If you say I still have no idea, you don't have to touch it. Okay, because I know some of you already like several weeks later you already finished. So I will just stay on today. And then sometimes we have the on change. So we have certain events. So when you click on it, so we will pass the event and then try to trigger set the value of the target values like this. Okay. And pass the value. When you can see the number. So we're using a curly bracket and then pass the value. Okay. It's a parameter variables. Okay. And here's the other structures. And I think all of you already tried it. So we try to adding the tag and then it's just like pretty like the HTML, but we kind of like stay with the JS syntax. We can embed all those like expression inside the curly bracket. So we can do it. So this is what I say. Okay. So inside the curly bracket, so we can put all the JS syntax. Right here. Okay. And we have the pops. Sometimes I would say later for your assignment, so you need to create multiple page. Okay, right now you just like have fun and then one single page. Later you need to create multiple page, a bus, context, and then you need to pass the some variables, okay, to another page. Then how can we pass it? So it's a pops, okay. So kind of like a property. So we can pass it to each components, and when we pass it, not right now, but you will see the bracket right here, right? So it's the parameter. So we can pass it. So maybe we will take certain parameter. Okay. And how can we pass it? Sometimes we have a tag. Okay. So from another tag, when you export it, and then when we call it, so we can pass it. Let's say we need to get the name or like the bio, maybe like this. So we can get it from the parameter. So right now you just need to know it. We can do it in this way. But later in the lecture, I will give you some sample code. If you can do it earlier, you can do it. Okay. And also we can giving a nest components. Okay. So inside each other. So you will, I think all of you can see it, right? So nest component, put it one. So maybe you put all of them together and import it. And it can help us to build some like complex UI. So start from small pieces. Okay. So as a component base like we add, so we always think about a small component, small pieces. Okay, so think about how can I build a menu? Okay, how can I build a footer? Okay, or how can I adding certain form? Okay, so start from that part, and then we can put them together, group them together. Okay, and different card or right here is the example, so we can like build it as a profile, and then maybe have a list. Okay. Import. And if you want to try, okay, so you can add them together. So but I think some of you already did it, so it's okay. I just letting you. For the pop will be keep it later. Next week I will tell you how can we using the use state. Okay, passing parameter. So create the page. And any other questions? If you need help, let me know. I think if someone still installing, I will have to.
When you pass all this reach funds, Things like.
Node.js, yes, the app. MongoDB, yes, edited, yes, yeah. So it's and I also submit that. So if you modify the app.js, say JSX, submit that one. If you modify the CSS, it's also submit that. Or
Just all this and.
yeah, that's it.
Report,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
does itself.
yeah. As a first assignment, pretty easy. I give it 2 weeks. I believe you can do it. Yeah, and I think after this week I will post another one. So you can work on the multiple page. But I will give you some sample code, like multiple page, so you can work on it, modify it. Yeah, and I know some of you already able to create multiple. Then we can start to like pass it the parameters. Okay, touching it. And then after that, yeah, after that, later we will start to move on to the server side. So pretty busy, yeah. So we have limited time. Okay, let's stay on this one. So how do you feel about React.js?
I guess, I mean, it looks okay.
So yeah,
Hasn't done wrong yet.
So far.
It's so much nicer than working like straight HTML.
okay, yeah. Compared to string,
Mm-hmm.
yes, so like going together, and the syntax you need to mix with Node.js, JS. For different framework, if you are working on AngularJS, actually the syntax also slightly different. Okay, so that's why when you pick up one of the framework, when you choose it, you need to look at the document, refer to that. Yeah. If we are using React, you see the component would be like this. And let me show you a page. Vue.js. Okay. So this one is called the Vue.js. Okay, it pronounces the Vue. Okay, and you see the syntax. Let me enlarge it. Okay, so kind of slightly similar. We still need to import and files, and then we're using called the template. Okay, instead of the component base, we create a template. Okay, right here, but we're still using the elements of the HTML. Okay, you see the tag is the header, and when we're passing the variables, instead of like single curly bracket, we're using double curly bracket. So for different framework, I say the syntax looks slightly different, so we need to study. Okay, so we
It's like
when
the same way as like with state management.
yeah,
like
kind of.
in
Yeah. So sometimes if you have multiple projects, you using different, you will confuse. Okay. I did try to use like all these for different projects, then you need to learn it and look at the document. Sometimes they will change, like maybe their updates change the components. Okay, so that's why we need to search it. And that's an example. And sometimes it will be outdated, or I think it always happens when you want to like adding certain element, and you will try to copy from the right now AI can help you to generate, but sometimes I think they will give you the outdated one, so we need to like ask the AI to like generate a latest one. Okay, or you can use the Stack Overflow copy others. Okay, you know lots of developer using the Stack Overflow, copy the code and then modify.
Oh,
Yeah, so actually to be honest, so that's why I'm not really say okay, not allowed to use it, but as a software engineer, developer, use the AI smart. Okay, not only say giving the command and then say, okay, give feedback and copy and paste. No, there's no. And also you need to know how to use it is more important. Okay. Sometimes when you look at source code, you know, okay, that one it won't fit or like it won't apply. Okay. So sometimes I think if you did try to use it, copy and paste, and then you try to execute it, nothing, yeah, error. Then you need to solve it. Then you need to know why it doesn't work. How can we modify? So I think it's more important. Yeah. And to be honest, for the job industry, I think maybe talk about this. Yeah. So they actually the lower level software engineer, like they have layoff, and then I heard about like lots of company, they try to ask the team to building the AI. Okay, that means you are working on the AI, and then later they will lay off you and then replace your position. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's changing. So as a software engineer, so we still don't know. So equip more new knowledge and apply.
Is there any reason to know how to make like classic HTML, JavaScript and CSS stuff, or like, is it mostly just learn React, learn new frameworks?
I say classic because if you look at all those tag or like the CSS file right here, they're still the classic one. No,
Yeah.
nothing changed. Yeah. So we still need to know it. Like but on top of it, right here, later you will know, okay, we have called ID, what's your class, okay, and then how about the next level? How can we modify the CSS? Actually, it's still same, it's classic. So that's why we can still learn it, okay. But maybe the syntax, how they import it, how can we use it may change, okay. But everything is same. Let's say I want to change the padding. Actually, for the padding, always be there. Okay. Yeah. And or we need to change the, let's say for the design, right now we like to create a card and with the round corner. Then how can we change it? Sometimes we add the shadow. Okay. So we change your radius. So all this exists a long time ago because they're all CSS. Yeah. And when you need to modify, but if sometimes if you want to let the user to change it, or like let's say if you want to like let the user click on the button, then if they need to modify, then maybe you need to implement a function to update the CSS like this. Yeah. Then also you need to know the basic, just like this. Kind of similar, just
I think maybe you can stand and make it somewhat covering like regulars. HTML and CSS just have to go into this specific DOM element and change that.
yeah, DOM, yeah. If you know, we talk about virtual DOM, we will say DOM. Yeah, later we need to modify those content too. Yeah, how do I say?
Even in here, or
We will touch it. Yeah, to change the virtual DOM. I think it's too early because I will cover the virtual DOM later. Yeah, not at this moment. But today just happy with just like touch on. But I feel like most of you come here is like walk pretty fast. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I cannot go too deep, but. And if you just let you know earlier, then I think I already created groups. Okay, so if you already know how to form the group, then you can join. Okay, so kind of like me, I feel when I introduce everything. Yeah, just let you know earlier, so you can choose the topic. Okay, let me know and then type a content description.
When do we need to have topics?
I will post it later. I just let you know early. Yeah. Kind of because we just talk about React in this moment, and then later I will cover the API server connect to the MongoDB. Yeah, after all this, then within that time you should able to form a group and then give me a topic. Yeah, just let you know early. Any question? Or like will still stay online? Okay, then I just stay on this. Yeah, may have. Okay. Okay, so we are using the JavaScript. Yeah, just JavaScript. Yeah. Later sometime we have the React button. And that was like if we have multiple page. Okay, so because we need to let's say page A, page B, that is but later I will cover this part. Yeah.
Okay.
So for today, okay, just let you.
No, I think I'm
Yeah.
caught up now.
Okay, so you need to change your directories and then NPM store.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, so if you
So
have
I do
idea,
this now?
this, yeah, and then you can change the content. And gotcha. If you want to build your profile, I would recommend that you can use the key. So if you know, so I didn't really cover it because just like depends on you. Okay, so maybe if you're working as a group, okay, later your project, if you want to like work together, then you can use a key to share that. Okay, if we move the files over, then okay,
Is there,
you have to try.
anything else?
For today, I think you would use those things.
Well, this is, so there was a template already installed on here. I didn't do all the, this here.
And
I did change these and then this here.
actually, because I'm not yet talk about like, let's say for the card, because when you click on button like this, so it's adding, actually just let you know. Yes.
I didn't put that on there. It was already on.
Yeah, it's a template. So I just let you right now is let you know what's the components and then inside components what's included. Okay. One I'm not yet talk about what's those pair, what's the A, but you have some idea like here is the link, okay, the URL image, okay, and then the header button when you click on the button, and then we have the second, so we have the use state, okay. So just know all these components ready. And when you change it, you gotta know something, they will they will know some things.
Yeah.
But if you have no idea, you can wait for the lecture. But I say why not, because when you click on it, every time up us to, okay, it's how can more. I use stay for video. This one is the problem. Is the shape. If you believe, so let's start. So that's sometimes you can check it. Okay, this one is very trying to start. So sometimes like maybe the MongoDB server is not as stuff. I think the version is safe, but this was one that should be made as well. Okay, so let's start. Okay. True.
spin.
And you can try to check.
How did you do that? So if you make.
Not just that.
No,
So
also
you
you
can use
use
the
the
service now.
Well,
But this one you get to change. And once you start it, you should actually change the version.
I did this.
I was listening to you.
Yeah.
Well, I just do it here.
There's no concept because you can, while you're doing also we can create. Like when you read this.
Yeah. I think I got it set up.
Or
I opened up
I used the create rec.
VS, Like our got Node,
In the
we got
group,
Vibe,
it's,
NPM,
we have some.
and React,
Yeah.
so we're good to go, so.
Well, now you don't be your former PS code.
How many?
I did.
Johnny and I.
my text to the.
After you open the folder.
Yes.
Yeah, captain.
I mean, this like possibly.
If online there's no other question, I will stop the sharing right now.
I was looking at the.
Yeah, actually, it is.
I always